Good afternoon, mathematicians. This is Mrs. Booth teaching from her house, trying to rest up, make sure that I can get back to school soon. I have some cold symptoms and was told to stay at home, but hope to be back soon. It's, that snowy kind of day where it's probably a good day just to stay home. But then on the other hand, my son's downstairs, his stereo's blasting. We've got construction going on around my house. So if you hear hammering and drilling and, just try to ignore it, which is what I'm going to do. I'll try to ignore it when I go to sleep after this lesson. I hope you are all well. So please take out your lesson 3 worksheet from yesterday and we'll scroll through and just make sure we're on track, and then we will get the quiz going. So Ms. Peters can pause the video at any time, so you can stick up your hand, ask a question, help each other out if there's questions from the worksheet to make sure you're ready to go on the quiz. So I'll just kind of scroll through, give you a chance to maybe check and find your mistakes. And just a quick review here for multiplying monomials. Remember that what you do is you take the coefficients. So in number 6, I would take the coefficients 8 times 10 to get 80. And then when it comes to the variables, when I combine these x's, I keep the base the same and I add the exponents. So if we look at the y's, I keep the base the same and I add the 5 plus 4 to get the exponent. So we'll just kind of scroll through here, give you a chance to check over your work. Okay, and flip your page over. Let's look at division. And let's take a look at number 20, just as a little bit of a review. So for number 20, I'm looking at the 14 over 16. Now, if it would divide out completely, I would do that. But it doesn't divide out completely. So 14 over 16 in simplest form is 7 over 8. Now let's work on our x's. If we were to cancel out 4 x's from here and 4 x's from here, what's left over is x to the 8, and it has to be in the denominator. And let's look at our y's. If I was to cancel or divide out y squared out of both of these, I'd still have y to the 5 left in the top, and that has to go in the top. Now, guys, we're not going to worry right now about assigning a mark or handing this one in. We're just going through this to make sure that you are ready for the quiz. So we'll scroll through and you just check over your work. Make sure you're aware of any types of mistakes that you have made. I don't want you to make those same mistakes on the quiz. Okay, and let's look at 29 as well. You guys had to do A, C, and E. Now, comparing your work on these ones can be a little tricky because you may have used a different strategy than I did. So, for example, maybe you separated yours into this rectangle and this rectangle. Your work would look a little different, but your answer should still be the same. Or maybe you did subtraction. Maybe you did this whole rectangle, subtract the area of this smaller triangle that doesn't actually exist. Or sorry, did I say triangle? I meant rectangle. But even if you did that strategy, we should still get the same answer. Okay, check over C. Again, 3 different ways this question could be done. They all give us the same answer. And same idea here for E. All right, so I'll get you to please put away your worksheet, tuck away everything, close up your binders, get ready for your quiz. Ms. Peters will be handing your quiz out to you. Please do your please do your work in pencil. And when you're all done, Ms. Peters will turn the video back on. Good luck, everybody. All right, we are going to mark our own quiz. So please put your pencil out of reach, either on the floor or in your pencil case. You must do your marking in ink, and you must be honest. Remember, I'll do some random honesty checks. And if I see you were not honest, you could end up with a 0 for a mark. So make sure you're paying attention and that you know what the marks are for so that your marking doesn't look fishy. So in number 1, we are giving 1 mark for each correct answer. Now, let's see which ones we might have something else on. Question C, where it says what is or are the constants. I said there is no constant. You could have said NA. You could have said 0. You could have said none. But if you left it blank, you do not get a mark because then it looks like you didn't know what a constant was. Okay, and then with F, what we're looking for here is this particular order, getting those in descending order to get that mark. And in number 2, what we're doing here is pretty quick marking. Quite often these questions would be worth more than 1 mark. For instance, quite often it'll be 1 mark for this term, 1 mark for this one, 1 mark for this one. So they can actually have quite a few marks involved. Uh-oh, what have I done? I think I have to pause for a moment. Back in a bit. All right, so let's keep this going. So you're giving yourself 1 mark each through here. If you, let's say on B, for example, let's say you had 2 out of the 3 terms correct, you could give yourself half a mark. If you're marking something like C and maybe everything is okay except you messed up on your A, give yourself half a mark. So if you feel like more than half of it is correct, then that means that you can give yourself half a mark. All right, so on page 1, please go ahead and give yourself a total out of 12. And let's move to the back side. So when we mark number 3, we are giving a mark for that first step. If you didn't do this first step, you do not get that mark. If all you did was write your answer, you're only going to get 1 mark here. So when you're checking this first one, you've got to check these signs to make sure that you distributed that subtract sign all the way through the bracket. So the first job is simplify. So that's what these first 2 marks are, is for the simplify. Then we have to evaluate. So over here to evaluate, I've substituted in the -3, so that's 1 mark, and then 1 mark for your answer. Always showing your work to get full marks. Now with number 4, it's hard to say if we used exactly the same method, but we should all still be able to get that one, and that one. 3 possible marks here, regardless of your method. And this page has a total of 7. Once you've got that total, please go back to the very top and give your grand total here out of 19. And then Ms. Peters is going to collect those quizzes. Please take out your notes booklet and we will get started on lesson 4.